Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Off the Dashers Puck This Movie Review. My name is Jim McBride.
I'm Matthew Angle.
I'm Matt Sovel.
Hey, and today's movie, coming off the heels of the greatest hockey movie of all time, MVP. We figured, it was a lot of fun. It's for sure a lot of work, and these other guys don't help. But it's a lot of fun. Let's do another hockey movie. So we searched through some stuff, and there was a couple movies that we looked at, but we couldn't figure out how to watch. Really?
In a reasonable way without buying
Yeah.
DVD copies of them or
Yeah.
something, and it's
Yeah.
like we don't really want to spend money on this, so
I mean, I'm willing to spend like $6 to rent it, but to be able to be like, hey guys, I'm gonna rent this. It's available for 48 hours. You have till like Friday at midnight to watch it, to really put a stink on it. Because I know, you guys like Sunday night, like, oh, I gotta watch this movie.
I was working. Like,
I
on Thursday
I
when
watched it a little bit before Sunday night.
Saturday,
I watched it. When did I
Sunday
watch
afternoon.
it? It was Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to be fresh in my mind too. It's not, I get into other stuff and then I forget. I try to forget about this movie.
No worries.
In this instance.
In this instance, yeah. So we went back a few years and we were looking through some stuff, and we came across the hockey movie involving Darren Roanoke. He is a young star
movie
player
had nothing. Just stop it. This movie had nothing to do with that person.
Yeah. It was.
He
Now
was a
people aren't gonna
side note.
watch. The whole
He's a
point is
side
that I
note.
build it up and they get into it and then they go, oh, it's really this movie.
All right,
Fuck
let's
you.
listen to your synopsis of this film, and then I'm gonna break it back down and tell you why you're wrong.
So I'm skipping like the first 10 minutes of the movie. So the movie picks up where star NHL player Darren Roanoke, he's been pretty much doing fairly well until his wife Prudence left him to go for a Los Angeles Kings goaltender. Turns out that he has this innate ability to psych out Darren, and he's having a hard time playing. And it turns out that they hire a self-help guy to help him work out everything that's going on to make him better.
Guru.
An
So
Indian guru.
We're watching
specifically.
The Love Guru.
Well,
You can't just say
okay,
Love Guru because there is
so
actually
he's-
another movie called Love Guru.
He's not like. He's not Indian though. Like in the movie, he's not Indian.
Nope.
So he's not an Indian love guru. like this.
Okay,
movie-
let me break down the biggest thing about the movie that kind of ticked me off just a little bit. Okay, the kid is apparently 12. Okay, when his parents were Christian missionaries.
Yep.
And he was 12, and he ended up like left in India. And how do you
Did
develop?
they get eaten by a
How do
tiger?
you already speak a language? You already speak English at a, you know what I mean? At 12, what
Yeah.
grade are you in? Matt, what grade are you in
I
at
thought you were
12?
going to say you already speak English at a
Oh.
fourth grade level. I was like, what
Like
the fuck
isn't
is
that like?
going?
Is it like sixth grade? I think it's sixth grade.
Like 6th grade. You speak English, right?
Yeah.
You speak English at this point. There's no ifs, ands, buts about that. Like you have a good grasp of the English language at least, and you know how to speak. Like, I'm not saying you're perfect, but you've developed your cadence. You've developed, you know what I mean, like a voice on speaking, right?
Mhm.
So I don't understand how this character that he's playing develops an Indian accent.
Well, we'll get
Can
into
you?
it.
Can some of you? Can one of you? This is like my biggest issue with the entire movie, is that like he abandons his entire culture, his way of speaking, everything about himself, and just he's like, you know what, I'm Indian now.
That
and,
was
like-
really part of the problem with the movie and people who were very upset, like about the portrayal of Hinduism and all he hit basically. So anyway, so the movie we're watching is The Love Guru with Mike Myers. It's a 2008 film. It was released in June of 2008. It had a budget of $62 million and it brought in a whopping $40.9 million for the box office. It has a Rotten Tomatoes rating of a 14 from the critics and 33% from the audience, IMDb scores it a. I didn't write that part down.
Matter.
IMDb's are always higher.
3.8
I
out of
feel like.
10.
Yeah.
Do it matter? Yeah, no,
It do matter.
not matter. It
So
do
at this
not.
point, well, you got to remember, it's 2008. Mike Myers is 10 years off of the Austin Powers movie. He has basically knocked him out of the park with 3 back-to-back movies. Goldmember's a little weak, I'm not going to lie to you. But he's also been Shrek.
Yeah.
And he's crushing it as Shrek. And they don't know what to do, and he's got tons of movie offers. And somebody basically at Spyglass Entertainment and Paramount said, Mike Myers is funny. Let's give him he's written this movie. Let's let him
He wrote it.
do it. He wrote it, yeah.
Did he
Mike
write it?
Myers, yep, Mike Myers and Graham
That
Gordy.
makes this like 10 times worse.
Oh yeah.
He didn't direct it, so that's a plus. But they do this. They do this movie, and this movie effectively derails his movie career. He's just trekking along. If you got Mike Myers in a movie, it's bound to make money. And then the Love Guru shows up, and then just right off to the side, and he's in nothing after that, except like minor roles. Like he shows up in Bohemian Rhapsody, real quick.
Yeah.
And he's in Inglourious Bastards for like one scene. But outside of that, he's basically
Not doing anything.
The promotion for this movie was weird. I'm trying to remember what TV show it was. The Voice? Fuck. Why can't I think of it?
I don't know.
The Voice, American
There's-
Idol.
It's either American Idol or The Voice. One of them used him.
It's saying
as-
American Idol on Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, that's it. Used him as a prop to promote the movie by coming in like towards the end of the show and be like, "Yeah, I'm going to help you do this."
And they got to see that firsthand when they met the guru at his ashram.
Woo! Sitar Hero. And I'm addicted to this thing. Hi. I am the Guru Pitka. Murshka Hargate. Yeah. Welcome to my ashram. As you know, I have been spiritual advisor to American Idol since the beginning.
Mike Myers did that a lot. He actually had a really, really short-lived TV show to where he was basically doing the same thing. He would come in and he was supposed to portray. Actually, I think it was the guy. I think it was the rerun of the Gong Show. He was basically playing a character while being the host. And I want to say it lasted like 10 episodes, and they were like, "Nah."
Would you guys believe that this wasn't his lowest rated movie?
No.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I totally
Dr. Seuss,
Yeah.
the Cat in the Hat movie was
Yeah,
actually
it was-
rated worse than this. Just an FYI, I just want to let you know again. This movie was very bad, and I didn't have a lot of expectation for it, but I was like, wow. And then I'm just like kind of looking, I'm like, what else has he done? I'm kind of like, just scrolling through a couple things, and I'm like, yeah, the Cat in the Hat movie, 9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
the problem with Cat in the Hat is it's at a time when like the CGI effects
It's in a
to
weird
cover that
place.
stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good now. It didn't look good then. It looks way worse now. It's just one of those movies that the CGI and all the stuff just isn't there. The reason The Grinch works better is purely because techniques got better.
And-
a lot of it,
and
there
Jim
were a lot
Carrey.
less
Jim
practical
Carrey.
effects. There were a lot more
Jim
practical effects used to create the
Yeah.
Grinch
Mhm.
and its characters. You know what I mean? There was a lot less CGI going on there.
I don't think
Oh wait, was the Cat in the Hat where they just like pasted Mike Myers' face onto like a
Yeah,
puppet or something?
pretty
Like
much.
it's terrible.
It's very
CGI,
bad.
right?
Yeah, it's bad. Like this kid like keeps zooming in on his face in the movie, I think, and you just see like this like weird like white face on this black cat. And it's
That's
like,
the that's the
weird.
trick. Like it felt like you were looking at a guy in a costume,
Yeah,
whereas the Grinch, like you knew it was a guy in a costume, but it didn't feel like a. It didn't.
Jim Carrey sells that though.
Yeah, it
Like
didn't feel like
there's a
shit.
difference. There's a difference. So
Yeah.
I totally get it.
But anyway, the Love Guru is stacked with top end comedy talent. You get Mike Myers, you get Vern Troyer, you get John Oliver, Stephen Colbert, Jim Gaffigan, Daniel Tosh is in there.
That guy
There's-
with the guy in that scene with Daniel Tosh, what's his face? I had it written down somewhere too. Can't remember. What's his face?
Rob Hubbell?
Rob Hubel. Yeah, Rob Hubble.
Yeah.
He was in there too. Like that was again, it was just random people showing up at random times. I mean, Justin Timberlake was my favorite part of this entire movie.
I think that
because-
Justin Timberlake had the best character and played
Yes.
his character the
Well,
best.
because it didn't take it very seriously. It was super over the top and stupid.
It was
And
wonderful.
it was exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah.
But here's the difference. He was just funny enough that it
Yeah.
wasn't that it didn't seem as terrible as the rest of the movie. And
It
that's
didn't seem forced. Like the whole
Spoilers.
thing.
that's the theme for this whole movie. it's not funny, and it's how many times can we just have
A dick
a
joke.
dick joke?
A dick joke, yeah.
And don't get me like also
Or
if you
some
go
sort
back,
of racist joke bullshit or whatever.
offensive, yeah. If you could be
something
offensive.
just out like how can we be outright offensive to everyone? We're going to insult little people. We're going to insult everyone.
We're gonna insult black people. We're going to insult Indian people. We're going to insult like
If I
there
was
wasn't.
to give you like a one word description, basically the jokes are naughty to be funny, or it's funny because it's naughty. That's the way. I have it written down. Basically say like ooh, we made a dick joke. That's naughty, so it's funny. That's the whole movie. Anyway, so the basic plot for this movie is Guru Pitka, Mike Myers, is a self-help guru. He's the number 2 guru in the world, right behind Deepak Chopra. You basically learn that what we've already done, that Pitka was 12 years old when he got taught by Guru Tuggan Maiputta, which is dick joke right off the bat.
And also Ben Kingsley playing another
Sir Ben Kingsley.
Sir Ben Kingsley playing another
A cross-eyed
Indian guy.
guru. Like, man.
I feel bad for Ben Kingsley because he has no business being in this movie. Like
But
at the
he
time,
existed
like,
in the role. He's the one
How do you go from playing Gandhi to playing this guy? Like what
Eh,
the hell?
I mean, well, you know what? Technically, he does play an Indian guy in Iron Man 3 as the Mandarin.
Yeah, but he also is playing an actor. It's like the
he's-
Robert Downey Jr. thing where
Yeah,
Robert
he's
Downey
playing a
Jr.
guy
playing
who's
a black
playing a guy.
man, playing a guy. It's like like he's playing a guy who's playing a guy in that movie. Like that, there's a distinct difference in these roles.
So the biggest thing that comes to the biggest part about this movie is that it has an actual NHL license. That's really why I picked the movie because the
The NHL picks its movies
actual
poorly.
NHL teams.
So the other thing, I think the other redeeming factor is the animations that they had. That where like the Los Angeles King would like shoot the maple leaf.
Oh,
like
yeah, that was fantastic.
Oh yeah, in between the games
those,
when you
those were great. So like my favorite parts of the movie were Justin Timberlake, and anytime I could see the animation of the
because I really enjoyed the whole shtick with Stephen Colbert being a recovering drug addict.
okay,
I don't want to jump too far ahead.
Yeah, okay, we're going in order
Basically,
here.
Yeah, Guru Pitka starts off by telling you like a little self-help book, and the whole they make 6 or 7 of these book jokes. Basically, it's a joke that's the cover of the book is if you're happy and you know it, think again. That is the first one that comes up, and there's 3 or 4 of those. they really beat those jokes into the ground. But the basic idea is that they set up that Guru Pickett is a love guru. That his training tells him that it's more important to love yourself than it is to be loved by others. And then we get kicked right into the actual hockey night in Canada splash screen. We get a shot at Darren Roanoke. He says, hey, they're going over the player profile, talking about how he's just a stud. But since his girl has been going out with Jacques Lecoq Grand, which is Justin Timberlake's character, he no longer has any of the skills to pay the bills. It's the very stereotypical, like, he was a good black player, now he's the good black bad boy, and he's got all like the wide receiver stuff, and it's very.
It was really cringy.
It was really kind of. I don't know. Like, there's a lot like he made hockey cool for black people, and like there's that whole like weird racial stereo. Like, George LaRoque existed. He was still playing, right? Like, there's no reason to.
2008, you know what I mean? Wasn't PK Subban playing hockey?
PK Subban was a rookie, right?
Just coming into the league, you know what I mean? Like, you have other players. I don't know.
Ray
It just Ray Emery.
Ray Emery. Thank you. Yeah, there were plenty of black players in the league, and to stereotype the league in such a way, and I hate it. It's the same thing that happens to Evander Kane that drives me nuts. You know, that you have to. I don't know. Maybe as an athlete, you got to be a certain way if you're a certain color or whatever. You don't. It's.
Felt wrong. It felt wrong.
It feels wrong. It feels wrong. It's really stereotypical. I hated it. It made me really uncomfortable.
Well, settle in, kids, because this is an hour and a half.
This is going to be uncomfortable.
So they show JT as Jacques Lecoq Grand. He is a French-Canadian goaltender. He plays for the LA Kings. Instead of wearing a modern mask with a shield, he wears the old style like white mask,
which would never be allowed anymore because it's a safety thing. Like from every standpoint, like, you don't see this anymore. Just, you don't even have a choice. It's like, this isn't a choice. Like, you can't wear that.
Listen,
I think it was fine. It was fine stylistically. Like, I don't know. It kind of went with the character. I was okay. I was not upset about the mask choice.
That's the easiest part of it. So he also has a red rooster that's drawn on the mask. And
because of the cock.
Because of the cock. Then they have the very first scene to basically set up why he's known as Lecoq is because he has a giant Lecoq. There's a scene with them in the locker room, and like a female sports comment. I'm going to get this word right eventually. The female sports reporter is interviewing him, and he's doing some stuff, and he basically ends the interview. He takes off his towel, and you hear thump of it hitting the ground. And the whole team, who's obviously been playing with him for a long time, they all go like, whoa.
Well, every time they see it, they're in awe for some reason.
So, and then they show Roanoke. The reason he's obviously now you understand why, because I'm just going to call him Justin Timberlake because I can't call him Lecoq the whole movie.
We can't do it. It's a terrible name.
Justin Timberlake is the setup reason is the Roanoke's girl left because Justin Timberlake has a big dick. I am mad at it. It's Justin Timberlake. What are you going to do? So they show scenes. Basically, Roanoke, he can't play anymore because his hands just tremble.
Gets the shakes.
He does get the shakes. Then you're introduced to Coach Punch Cherkov, which is Mini-Me, Vern Troyer.
Cherkov. Yes,
Cherkov.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Vern Troyer. That's right. I forgot he passed.
Yeah.
So the idea, at this point in the movie, you're supposed to assume that they're late in the season, not that they're basically through the playoffs.
But they are.
But they are. because they're basically one of the first most unbelievable things in the movie itself is that the Leafs are able to get everything, even though Roanoke is falling apart.
Yeah.
The idea is that he'll get it back together just in time for them to win the Stanley Cup.
Amazingly, the most unbelievable part of the movie is that the Leafs are in the Stanley Cup Finals.
At this point, the most unbelievable part. That's when we're introduced.
The other thing about this that drove me nuts is that this point in the movie you have Jessica Alba, you have Fern Troyer, you have these characters, right? And they're like, you know what? We need to hire a guru because my dad, he owned the Yankees and he did it when a pitcher or something.
Yeah.
So her father is Frank Bullard, right? I think it was Frank Bullard.
I don't know.
I didn't write
matter
that
because we never see the guy or hear about him ever again after
That's
this.
He doesn't matter.
You see his portrait.
Do you?
They don't address it at all.
She literally points to it, and when they say the baseball reference, they zoom in on it. Guys, did you watch the movie? It's
I
like
watched
5
the
minutes
movie.
in. 6 minutes.
Yeah,
in.
but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The rest
not
of the
memorable.
movie,
It's
they
not
don't
memorable.
address him at all. It's because she inherited the team from her dad. Like that's
Yeah,
it. That's the
that's
whole
it.
plot.
Anyway,
Like she doesn't want to own the team. Like she just does.
she does. So,
She seemed like she wanted to own the team. I don't know.
Did you watch the other parts of the movie? And again, we'll get to that. She doesn't want to own this team. She hates it.
so the idea is that if they can get Roanoke and his girl back together via the help of Guru Pitka, that they will save the Leafs season and be able to play in the Stanley Cup Finals. So it takes a little bit. You get to the very classic modern, like self-help guru ashram, to where it's basically just this giant compound. One of the few things that they do for the movie that's not terrible, and I think it kind of works itself into place, is they do a few songs that Mike Myers actually performs, and he uses a sitar to change modern songs. The first one is 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life. Jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the streets the traffic starts jumping with folks like me on the job from 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5. Got a way to make a living, barely getting by. It's all taking and no giving. They just use your mind and they never give you credit. It's enough to drive you crazy if you let it.
I found that like I'm not gonna call it offensive, but I just found it like weird.
It didn't bother me as much as...
I liked it. I think it was one of the more enjoyable parts of the movie. I'm glad we're talking about it.
I think the issue
think
is
the whole
too-
thing about him co-opting this personality of an Indian person, it's like if he was an Indian person doing this, okay, but it's not. Like that's
so,
what bugs me.
like he rides an elephant. It's only girls in like tied shirts around the house. His little his friend, fuck's the friend's name?
Remember again, it's one of those guys that like you don't.
Rajneesh. the
Rajneesh.
assistant. He's Indian, so they kind of it's like he's the friend that we can get around all this stuff. So
Yeah, exactly. He agrees to it. So he's in the movie and he's okay with all this, which I don't understand.
it's not great. Anyway, so to set up why our friend the Love Guru has to go get this done is the Toronto Maple Leafs are paying him $2 million to fix this problem.
To figure it out. Just figure it out.
Save his marriage.
Also, were you guys like that's got to be cap circumvention somehow? Like,
I think it counts against
in
the
my
cap.
head-
I think it's just
No,
flat out pay for.
Well, no,
Service.
but
It's a
if
service,
they're
a team
doing it for a
service.
particular player instead of the player paying out of his pocket, is that not cap circumvention?
No, I think it's literally
I
just.
don't know. You could
like,
call it
the
medical
team's-
services. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like this is because it's not you're not giving it's a service to somebody, but is it worth $2 million or I don't know. Like there's a lot to be said about that. It's not like they're buying a car and then like leaving the keys in the driveway for the
Like,
player to find.
Oops,
Like
here's a bag of
oops,
money.
oops.
Oops.
Yeah, but oops, here's a love guru. You know, like
I
that's
don't know. It seems
that's sort of. I don't know.
The
I don't know
idea
that
is that
it's-
if he can
If I'm
fix
the
their
king, I'm
marriage, if he can fix their marriage, not only will he no longer be the second greatest guru in all of the world next to Deepak Chopra,
he'll get to go on Oprah and
he'll get
be
to
the
go
next
on
Deepak
Oprah.
Chopra.
As it. This is where we're introduced to John Oliver's character, Richard Pants, also known as Dick Pants.
It's also the first of like 50 times we hear the name Deepak Chopra. And if you
Yes.
don't know who Deepak Chopra is, you're going to be lost the entire movie. So go ahead now at this point, if you don't know who
Hit
Deepak
pause
Chopra
real
is,
quick. We'll
and
give
go
you
ahead and
5
pause
minutes.
it and look it up because I don't know that anyone else. Because like at first I was like, I've heard that name, but I don't know who he is. I had to stop and look him up. So if I was in a movie theater and I didn't know who Deepak Chopra was, I'd be like why does he want to be like Deepak? Like who is this? Like like it felt forced because not everybody might know who he is. I'm just saying.
And
I don't know.
skeptically examine him.
So
I don't know.
in actuality, Myers, after his father died, he became a real big fan of Deepak Chopra, so that's why they reference it a lot.
So much.
It's just the way it worked. And then we get some. So basically, at this point, we are 10 minutes into the movie, and they have finally set everything up. We know the plot. We're ready to go. They've basically driven it home what needs to happen. And then we get the worst CG ever.
Yeah. And we get another plot device.
We do. So we go 30 years into the past to see a young
12-year-old. 12-year-old. Yes.
Yeah, and his name's Maurice. Maurice Pitka. We learn his real name. Or is it Maurice Pitka? I'm pretty sure his last name was Pitka still.
I think so.
Anyway, they have a kid who they obviously used to model like the body, and then they CG'd Mike Myers' head. And instead of just doing the face, because that technology didn't really exist yet, they basically just CG his whole head.
It's a giant head too. Like it was not
giant.
proportional whatsoever.
It's
Like it was supposed to be funny,
giant.
but it just looked stupid.
It was weird.
And
True.
it doesn't look natural at all.
Yeah.
This is where we get introduced to Mr. Ben Kingsley and his cross-eyed tugging my Puda or Guru.
All of
Tuggin'
these
My
names
Puda.
again. It's kind of like remember when they did the whole like on TV when that Malaysian airliner went down in the Pacific or the Indian Ocean or whatever,
Yeah.
and like that news station reported all like the wrong like racist Asian names
Yeah,
for like the
like
captain and the
17
crew.
long.
Yeah, like they do this for these Indian people essentially. They just come up with a bunch of fake names for other gurus
As long
And
as they're dick
for-
jokes.
as
For
long
Ben,
as it's a
for
dick
Ben
joke.
Kingsley, who's not Indian, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So they all have to have dick joke names, and like again, it's just felt like tone deaf, like the whole thing.
oh, it was so bad.
It's tone
How
deaf
did-
because it's not funny. That's the
No.
trick. Like if it's funny, everybody goes like, "Ha ha ha!" His name's tugging my dick.
Yeah. Like it just I don't know. They took a little too long to think out. I guess maybe I'm stupid.
I don't understand how Ben
Yeah,
Kingsley
we're
said,
stupid. We're stupid because we watched this movie.
Right,
I
yes.
I don't understand how Ben Kingsley said yes to this. You think about Ben Kingsley's career and like all the great roles that he's played, and then he's like, "Yeah, tugging my Puda." Okay.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Yeah.
Dollar bills.
Well,
There's not enough dollar bills in the world to like. I don't know to. I mean, maybe you wanted to do some comedy, like have that like check, be able to check that off. Like he's like, okay, well, I've done Schindler's List, I've done Sexy Beast, I've done, Gandhi. Like, I've got all this stuff checked off. I gotta get some comedy in there.
Gotta get something
I
stupid.
I think basically what happened was there was this little lull in stuff that he was like in because he did some shittier movies, but I also think he was just having like a good time doing other stuff. And then there was like this slight little thing where it starts to tick back up, but he's never in anything during that time period that's a giant blockbuster until Shutter Island,
Yeah.
2010,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is just great.
Shutter Island was a very good movie, though.
It is.
So and then you start to like kick over stuff to where he gets into like Iron Man 3. I'm trying to think of there was a movie he was in recently which was really good. Can't draw a fucking blank on the name. Doesn't matter.
Sure.
But that's the whole idea is that they have all of these gurus and we're gonna run through them pretty shortly. So after we get that little establishing scene that we don't need anymore, there is a bunch of
Or you
Kinda
missed
like
you missed
a
an
na-
important part. You
Oh,
missed
did
an
I?
important part. Yeah, they make him wear a fucking chastity belt in
Oh,
that scene.
that's right. I forgot
That
about
whole thing,
chastity
he needed
belt.
another plot device. Then you find out that he wears a chastity belt, which makes me curious about another. Okay, during the like opening montage about like all this, and you see stuff. There's like a picture of like a bunch of like celebrities like flashing their crotches, like getting out of cars and stuff like that. And they have one of
That's right.
Mike Myers' character flashing his crotch, and I'm like, oh. But then I'm like, but he's wearing a chastity belt, so like, how did he? Like, it didn't make any sense. I get that it's a comedy movie. I get that it's a comedy movie, but there was zero continuity at some points. It just felt like an oversight, and I don't know. But again, he's wearing a chastity belt since he was like 12.
Yes.
Like,
So the whole idea is that he uses acronyms. He goes like, "Oh, I'm a guru." It says GURU. That's what guru stands for. GURU. And then he says TM. There's little TM. Get used to that because they're going to hit that joke
Over and over
7 or 8
and
more
over.
times.
and over and over.
So-
They're gonna beat it over the fucking head. Like,
So they
really
do all
bad.
the normal self-help stuff where he says a word and then does that, and he says a word and does this. The whole idea is that gets everybody all riled up because obviously he's going to be making a bunch of money with this event. The one thing that they say all the time, instead of saying like clapping your hands together and saying namaste, they say Marisha Hargitay. If you don't know who Marisha Hargitay is, shame on you. She actually is the SVU's Olivia Benson.
On Order SVU. It's great. She's a
Yep.
great actress.
There's a
Why they use her name in this, I don't understand.
Well, because 5 minutes later, there's a little tiny surprise. So they go out and they have this little scene where he's trying to find a nose hair that's loose and it causes a little whistle. They don't actually remove it. They just he like makes the whistle noise and you're supposed to go, oh, I've had a nose hair that's been kind of funny. It's whistled before. LOL smiley face. And
That was one of the flags.
It was just such a dumb thing.
It
Like, I
was
didn't
not-
understand it. I just didn't understand any of it.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this about? And it's just about a nose hair. And it's like, if again, you stop the entire movie to talk about a nose hair for like 3 minutes.
I think that's where you're scraping the bottom of the barrel for like content, you know. And it's a shame because there were so many funny people that could potentially have probably contributed to the, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's
This
such a
is-
waste.
this is where we get the first real scoop of cameos for the movie.
Mm.
And they basically bring out all the spiritual celebs. So you get a big old scoop of Jessica Simpson. You get a quick little scoop of Fat Val Kilmer.
Mm-hmm.
And
And then we make some Law and Order noises.
yeah, they make some Law and Order noises because guess who shows up? Marisha Hargitay.
Marisha Hargitay. Like, he's like, he
building it.
wasn't expecting to see her. And it was like, like I don't
Yeah,
know.
to be honest, I'm not going to. This is one of the first time in the movie where I go, oh, the reason they say Marisha Hargitay is so for this specific joke for the movie. They
Yeah.
can go, Marissa Hargitay. Marisha Hargitay.
Mariska Hargitay.
Hargitay, the Guru Pit. Mariska Hargitay. Mariska Hargitay.
Mariska Hargitay.
And it's
And
like,
it's just like-
this is the joke. They spent 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is, to get to this part of the joke.
Yeah. It was long. And it's like, unless you know, again, who she is, the joke doesn't make sense.
They do
It's just
help
a-
you out by saying,
They,
like,
but
hey,
after the fact, you can go like, "Oh, that's why they were saying that the whole time." I get it now. Like, but you feel dumb because you're thinking that this is just some Indian saying or something, and it's not. It's the actress's name. And
There's-
it's just, I
they're
don't
building
know.
a wing to the ashram called the Special Victims Unit coming next spring, and they press the button and it lights up, goes bum bum, like with the blue and
Yep.
red color.
Yep.
And they've run this joke into the ground. Bum
Bong bong.
bum bum. Yeah, da da da, bum bum. It's like, Jesus, I get it. Then he's introduced to our leading lady, Jane Bullard, Jessica Alba. She basically shows up to woo Pitka to Toronto to save Roanoke and the Leafs. They have this like little Bollywood love cutscene thing to where somebody else sings and he just kind of like lip syncs it, and it's a thing.
It's a thing.
So I'm like, I'm not mad at Jessica Alba, because it's kind of hard to be mad at Jessica Alba.
It is.
Yeah, listen.
It is. Did we get to the part where he said monkey mustard yet?
Monkey mustard.
Talking about poop or something? Monkey mustard.
I think that's when he's talking to Coach Mini Me after they make
Yeah.
another "I Know You Are, But What Am I" book joke reference.
Yeah, I think so. But he's monkey mustard, and I'm just like some of the funniest things to me were like the little itty bitty details. Do you know what I mean? That like I don't
It
know.
showed that he still had that kind of hone to his comedy.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunately he was hitting you with the non-sharp end of the knife.
Oh yeah. Like there were still little things that were funny like about this movie.
Because stuff would come up and you go like, oh, that's a little, that was good.
So
But it's
to kind
the
of
throwaway line.
so to kind of reiterate here again, at this point, we've understood that the plot is terrible. Okay, his only motivations are to make money and to get on Oprah. And it looked like during one of the cutaway scenes, like before when you had the big head, that like his like childhood friend or whatever that he was learning to be a guru with was Deepak Chopra.
Oh,
Because they
maybe.
specifically addressed Deepak, like the guru guy, what's his face, like his guru, specifically like you figure that Deepak Chopra is going to play a bigger role in this movie because it's his childhood like rival for being a guru or something, and then you hear about him the entire movie.
It would. I didn't pick up that.
You didn't pick up like again when
It
you see
makes
him there
sense
because he's
now.
standing next to another kid and it's Deepak Chopra. That's like I said, he addresses him as Deepak. But I don't understand why we never see or hear about. You know what I mean? Like he brings it up. Like, oh, you're gonna be the next Deepak Chopra. Oh, you're gonna be the next Deepak Chopra. Oh, you're gonna be on Oprah. Oh, you're gonna. You know what I mean? It's like this is the whole movie. The only reason he's doing any of this is not for making this couple get back together. It's like if he can do it, he gets to go on Oprah and he gets to be the next Deepak Chopra. Like that's the whole plot. It's the whole plot. That's it. You got to get $2 million, and he's gonna be, and he's already apparently rich because he's got all these people, he's got all these books. It's like what's $2 million to a guy like this? I don't know. It feels so shallow. Like I don't understand it. Like why do you want to be somebody else? Like I don't. It's like it's a very obviously shallow plot, and I don't. I was I get it. It's like it's supposed to be funny or whatever, but it's like when you look at other movies he's done, things like Austin Powers, it's like, yeah, you're a spy and you're saving the world and it's silly. Like, okay, like I get that. It's silly. Like that's the whole thing. But it's like you're taking a serious thing, or what is a serious thing, right? Like a Bond movie, right? Bond movies are, they're campy occasionally, but still a serious subject, and you're returning that into something funny. You were playing on that joke. This whole premise and what it is, nothing about it is serious in any way, shape, or form, and it's hard to like place it as something that like has any value, right? Like you're what the only thing he's making fun of is an entire culture, and that again feels wrong. So I don't know. I don't know, man.
It's not great.
Good. I mean, but that's what at this point. Okay, we're a quarter of the way into the movie. We're 20 or 25 minutes into the movie, and this is all we've got. This is all we've got.
Well, that's why they're on the plane, so Jane Bullard can tell him that, hey, you're going to save Toronto, you're going to save Roanoke, and you're going to help me break the Bullard curse. What's the Bullard curse? Well, since her father has purchased the team, the Toronto Maple Leafs haven't won a Stanley Cup since that last year. It's been, I don't remember how long they said it was. But fans hate her so much that they boo her, they throw food at her. All the normal.
She hates it. They drew lines or something like that on like in the hallways of the stadium where the fans won't see her, so she can stand and like walk out. And if she steps over the line, immediately people are like looking for her to throw things at her. Like,
Yes.
and it's ridiculous.
It's
great.
It's super fun, I guess. Anyway, it's our first hockey scene. This is a terrible movie. I'm so bad we watch it. So 2 or 3 more book gags later, we get our
They're on the plane, right? They're on the plane before this. You get to tell he's still wearing the chastity belt because he gets a boner when talking Jessica Alba's character, and it makes a ding noise against the inside of the chastity belt when his dick hits it. So that's a thing now too. Every time he gets an erection, you're gonna hear the inside of the chastity belt go bong, and it's another dick joke for your dick jokes, so that it's not just funny that he gets a boner; it has to make a noise now. So yeah.
They then show Roanoke at practice all by himself because that's how the Stars practice, and he has like the foam
targets that they use at the All-Star game.
And they have a guy from the far away shot taking slap shots, and it looks like a guy who knows what he's doing. And then they have the up close one. And you know how like a little kid, when they take a slap shot, they hold on to the stick really rigid, they bring their body back, and then they kind of bend down and like
putter forward and hit it.
That's his slap shot. And it's I'm like, well, yeah, no shit, he's not hitting anything. It's just like way off. Then he gets mad, like smacks this thing, and they show his hand shake a little bit. And then our friend Guru Pika comes in on his magic carpet
motorized pillow thing. I was gonna bring that up too. Like, why is he riding? Like, are his legs broken? Like, is he unable to walk? Like,
that whole carpet. Oh, it's
motorized carpet. Like, it just there's just no reason.
Well, there is a reason. I mean, because it's a racist stereotype.
That's basically that's a big chunk of the movie. Why do they do this? Oh, it's the stereotype.
It's a stereotype. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. I don't know what else to say.
So they show him doing terribly, and then they don't like set up. He doesn't come in and say, "Hi, I'm Guru Pika. I'm here to get you back with your wife." Basically, like, "Hi, I'm Guru Pika, and I'm here to fix this, but your wife's no longer with Justin Timberlake, so everything's all good." And he goes, "Really?" And then he's able to just slap pucks, hits all the
targets. I remember at one point does he like flick a puck up and like swat at it, or is that not the
baseball
scene?
style swings
baseball style swings at it and like hits one. I'm like, where the fuck is this coming from? Like, who who does this? Like, I get skill plays, like when a puck's in the air and somebody's swatting at it to score a goal, but like you don't have guys like tossing them up and like this is how they shoot. Like, no, where do you learn that? Like, where did that come from?
I mean, it's the idea is that he's supposed to be this super skilled player, but he's lost all of his mojo.
He's got the yips. He got the yips because his life left him. For a guy with a huge dick, like that's another plot point for you.
Yep. So Guru Pitka lies and lets him know what happens, and suddenly he's back to being terrible. This is the first part of my notes that I write. Why am I watching this piece of shit movie?
Yeah,
Fuck, this is terrible.
because the whole thing is this guy can't get a grip on his life, on himself, and is letting a relationship destroy him instead of just being adult and figuring it out. No,
Yeah.
no. I've gotta be bad at hockey from here on out because I can't concentrate because my wife left me because I'm a huge piece of shit and can't just be an adult.
We keep repeating that same section of the movie because that's literally what the whole movie is.
This is the only thing that's
one
happening
theme for the movie. We then get a scene of a white Pontiac. I think it's a Firebird, Thunderbird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
it's got-
a rooster on it.
with a red rooster on it. At the back, the license plate is a Quebec license plate. It says BIGCOQ for Lecoq.
Cock.
And we get Guru Pitka and his assistant hiding in the bushes. And like, did you hear us? And he goes, "No, we're perfectly still. I have this bullshit apology letter." And then they go, "Did you see us?" And he goes, "No, no, no." And then the elephant goes, "Roar," and everybody
He's
goes,
like,
"Oh,
maybe. Yeah, it's like, yeah, okay, well,
God
great.
damn it. So he has to break into his house. The idea, the easiest way to describe Jacques Lecoq Grand is he's a 70s porn actor who is really, really into hockey. Except he's Canadian.
It's Bernie Perrant from the Flyers.
Is, except
Except like a caricature of like what
it's not
you've
even
heard
a
in
character
stories.
because they have these really shitty workups for him. Like he's
It's
always
almost like
wearing
it's like
shorts.
they're channeling Marky Mark in Boogie Nights, and
That's a good word. That's a good point.
and they're trying to combine him with like a French Canadian accent, and then like again the goalie thing. Like he doesn't need to be a goalie, but the only reason I can figure out why they're making him a goalie is to tie him into like these big cock like dick down like shithead
That's
stories that Bernie Perrant has. Like that's the only thing I can
end of
get.
the movie is the whole reason why he's a goaltender.
Yeah.
With the 5-hole trap. So
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Guru Pitka sneaks into his property. There's an attack rooster, a guard rooster, and they get in a fight. He gets all scratched up.
It's bloodied as fuck. Like it's funny
Yeah.
because he's fighting a rooster, and I'm not saying that a rooster couldn't fuck you up, but like push comes to shove, rooster comes at me, like we're gonna have problems, and I'm not gonna lose. I'm not gonna look like that. I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but
Justin Timberlake is singing to his girl, and he says, "Oh, I'm gonna go make you a
a Quebec pizza,
yeah."
which you find out shortly thereafter because he doesn't. You don't get to wait to find out what a Quebec pizza is. He just immediately tells you it's a Pop-Tart with ketchup on it. I don't know why. Who thinks this shit up? I wonder if like they just let him run with lines and he got to make some of this shit up. Like I'll make you a Quebec pizza.
Yeah, it's Pop-Tarts. It's Pop-Tarts with ketchup on.
Pop-Tarts with ketchup.
Improv usually a big part of Mike Myers' movies. I feel like.
Oh my god. I love that was one of my favorite parts because now I wanna like reference that and no one's gonna get the reference because nobody saw this fucking movie.
Just start doing it.
Who wants a Quebec pizza?
We'll start slipping it into the podcast more.
Yeah, we get you a Quebec pizza. That was this was one of my favorite parts of this whole movie because it was just stupid, but it had nothing to do with the movie like at all.
Well, it's to showcase the apology letter that Roanoke wrote
Yes.
to Prudence, his ex-wife,
Mm.
and I forgot. I have a thing. He walks back in and he's got he has the Quebec pizza on like a tray. And it's obvious product placement because you can totally tell it's Pop
It's Heinz
Tarts, but
ketchup. It's Heinz ketchup and Pop Tarts. Like,
I don't think it's Heinz ketchup. I think it's
oh, it
supposed to be
is.
Heinz,
Oh,
but I don't think they got
here
the
you
actual
go.
license for it.
Here you go. It's in the image. It's
Oh, you took
definitely
a picture of it.
it's definitely Heinz ketchup in a glass bottle.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just saying. This whole thing, the loaded speedo, the windbreaker, the hair, the mustache, the tray with a plate with a Pop Tart with ketchup on it, and he has to bring more Pop Tarts that are uncooked and the ketchup out. Again, it's product placement, but it's hilarious. It is the way, I don't know. Again, I'm sorry if you're watching this movie along with us. I'm sorry.
Sorry, it exists.
So we get more. We get a one-on-one self-help session where Pitka basically goes over all of the little points to help him, and they're just dick jokes. It's like acronym for cock. It's an acronym for blow me. It's all this stuff. We then find out that did we find out then that his mother's part of the problem?
Yeah.
Or was that later?
Yeah, his mom. Yeah, they find out his mom because he brings up his mom. He's like, no, like freaks out.
She can't come to the games.
Yeah. So we then get to see Ben Kingsley, teach everybody the meaning of life with a elephant humping joke. And that's where he breaks down the drama tattoo, DRAMA on his thing, and they have a piss mop joust. So the whole time Ben Kingsley's talking about the things, he's basically pissing into this pot.
Yeah, into a pot. He's pissing into a pot, like for no reason apparently at first. And this is where they bring up what? This is where they start talking about two elephants doing it.
Yep, as a distraction.
Yeah, remember that, kids. Remember the two elephants doing it. That's a plot point.
Unfortunately.
The idea is that if you go for the main distraction instead of paying close attention, you're going to wind up with a mouthful of piss. Cut back to Hockey Night in Canada. It's Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Everybody in Toronto is super excited. They're going to break the Bullard Coast. They are serving. Did you see the hot dogs they were serving?
Blue hot dogs. I was like, that was the thing that I took out of that whole scene. Everything was fine except for blue hot dogs on blue buns. It just looked disgusting. Like, why do that to a hot dog? I don't get it. Jim, if you ate like 10 of those, what do you think your bowels look like when you had a movement? What would happen?
So one time, there was this licorice candy called Fruit Twists, Juicy Twists, and they're just full of sugar and all the terrible stuff. They're made by a company makes them. It starts with a K. Anyway, they have like strawberry, raspberry, and they had a blue raspberry flavor. I was like, oh, cool. I'm a kid. I'm running around. I ate probably half of the little like Twizzler size pack, not like one of the giant ones, like one of the $1.25 size packs.
Right.
And got to make a poop later. And turns out that blue dye is strong.
Strong.
You
It is. You do not digest it. You do not digest that blue dye. It just comes out of you. Gross.
It's.
Oh my god, Jim. Jim, you have the best bowel movements.
Thanks, buddy.
Uh,
So, yeah, they have blue hot dogs on blue buns because the maple leaves are blue.
That's all I took from that montage scene of like fans doing things. It's just blue hot dogs. That's the only thing I wrote down. There's blue. It was like, ew, blue hot dogs. That's what I wrote down.
Well, then they have Guru Pitka on the bench in like a.
No, you forgot before that. There is a Hockey Night in Canada interaction here again.
That's right.
We got more. We get more ridiculous. Stephen Colbert and it's. Again, this is like one of the only redeeming things about the entire movie. So if like you get a chance just to watch these interactions, or you only perk up when you see these two on the TV, like it's fine. Like it's completely fine. Like I condone that. Like that's a valid way to watch this movie, in my opinion. Again, I don't know. Don't know how you feel about it, but
It's Jon Stewart, Stephen Colbert couldn't make me watch this movie no matter how
Again,
much.
it's just silly but it's silly in like this is a fine to be silly kind of a way. Like these characters, have a very limited time to become like recognizable, and and you need to do something funny like in a very short period of time. Like this is fine. Like I get doing this. So these little skits I find to be funny, like when they're doing these whole things. I thought they were funny at least.
It's the least turdiest part of the turd.
Yeah,
Because they set up with Colbert being the real funny guy and Gaffigan being the funny dummy.
Straight man, yeah, or something
Yeah.
like that. Kind of. Yeah, I get it. Still, I don't know. Again, just the whole thing is, it's like I appreciate that being funny because it's like it's apart from like the rest of the movie.
It's not great. So
I wasn't a huge fan. I just wasn't a huge fan of Stephen Colbert's character in this movie in general, because I don't think that it doesn't reflect Stephen Colbert in the way that I think that he typically is funny. Like, it's not like I don't know.
Funny guy
I get
is
it.
unfunny in unfunny movie.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like the kind of thing that Colbert usually. You end up liking Colbert for maybe as he's moved away from that character in the talk show and more into the talk show host. Like you get to know him a little bit better, and he's a more well-rounded person. So like Colbert is a dude who is like addicted to drugs, and relapsing, and just being a regular weirdo. Yeah, in the movie, it doesn't ring true to me. It doesn't seem really. Now, if that was Daniel Tosh, totally think Daniel Tosh could have pulled that off.
Once again, I'm Trent Looters, and I'm Jay Kell. Tonight, Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. LA Kings, Toronto Maple Leafs. It's gonna get ugly. Ugly? You want to hear ugly? And promises I shivved a guy with a sharpened toothbrush because he bogarted the rehab toilet hooch that I'd made from apples and pantyhose. That was ugly. Over to you, Trent. Thanks, Jay.
We get Guru Pitka telling Roanoke, "Hey, as part of your training, don't fight anybody this hockey match. Don't fight. You can't fight. You can't do anything." At the end, they set up literally a dick joke with a corn dog. Pitka gets the idea to go over to the King's bench and tell him to basically just beat up on Roanoke.
He's like he said like a bunch of things to the bench that like were coming from Roanoke, like just to like rile them up, and you like typical hockey player responses, they're slamming their sticks on the on the boards and getting angry and screaming and stuff, and he gives him a thumbs up, and then deep throats the corn dog, and it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny because it's naughty.
It's naughty.
So,
but then he goes back to his throne. He goes back to his throne behind the bench, which I think is again just Stanley Cup final. Like we all love it, and we all think it's a very serious event. Like it's a not that it's to be serious, but it's like there's a certain air about the Stanley Cup final that drove me. This feels like a preseason game. The way that the crowd is, the way that the hockey players are, it's so light and easy, and everybody's fine. Like I don't know, like the whole thing, it felt off to me. And it didn't feel like a great way to depict the Stanley Cup in any way, shape, or form.
There was no urgency, right?
No, not at all. None at all.
Well, wait until they get into the actual hockey parts, because right off the face-off, Roanoke gets crushed. Not like he makes the play at the puck. He's just bowled.
It's an interference because it's like he made no attempt at the puck. He just got cross-checked.
Just crushed him.
And then they skate away with the puck.
But the referee has put the things away. There's a continuity error to where all of his gear goes flying, and then when he finally slows down,
he has a glove in his hand. Yeah, he has gloves.
And
yeah.
Mike Myers tells him, "You can't fight anybody. Don't fight anybody."
He keeps wagging his finger at him. No. No.
And then we
No
get
fighting.
an actual some actual hockey. It's not.
It's like
that
clips. It looks like
terrible.
clips of hockey players playing hockey. Like
It is.
I have no qualms with it. Like it looks
Yeah.
fine. The hockey in this movie, the parts that weren't obviously like one of the actors doing something, like isn't bad. Like
I don't even think
have
that the main actor. He looked like he could skate okay. I thought he wasn't terrible. I don't know.
I've just got no problems with the actual hockey. Like when it's not obviously one of the characters doing
Yeah.
anything. Like the hockey cutaway scenes and everything in the play, it's like they purposely aren't showing a lot of like the blue lines and where the puck is and things like that because they don't want you to be focusing on is that play offsides or was that icing or well no, like it's just hockey happening and I guess I can appreciate it.
Yeah, they crush them quite a bit, and this is where you get a shot of one of the. I think it's the first time they show a legit hockey player. The guy on the right is Bob Probert.
Yeah.
So basically, two players they go into the boards and or to crush them. The guy on the left, I think, is a hockey player, but I just don't recognize him.
I couldn't tell you.
And
Because they have who else was in there like later like
Jim
there was
Thompson
another-
and Rob Blake. They're the three hockey
yeah
players that I
Rob
recognize.
Blake. Yeah.
Tim
called-
Thompson was in it?
Yeah, Jim Thompson's in it.
Didn't
He's
notice
the
that.
captain of the Kings.
Yeah, because like right later, because literally later in the movie they say, "Hey, Rob Blake," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like that's definitely Rob Blake.
So yeah, it was kind of like that's Rob Blake. It's like, oh yeah, that is Rob Blake. So to at this point, the idea is that our Roanoke is so distracted that he forgets about the issue and he can get his mojo back. He then turns into Gretzky. Makes a play at the line. I think he might be offsides, and when I actually go, I'm gonna have to go through the movie and go frame by frame because I think he's offsides.
He might be. You might be right, but again, they make it ambiguous enough that it's like maybe.
It's close.
Yeah,
but
it's close.
At that point, it's obviously that it's not that guy doing the thing. So he basically jumps over a player.
They do a lot of that too. A lot of like rolling or jumping or over players, and a lot of acrobatic type of hits. Like he gets hit and he goes like he does like a flip, like things like that. Like it's crazy. It's crazy acrobatics on ice.
So basically, he is technically he goes into the zone before the puck does, but he hasn't touched the puck because it's just outside of his. So what he does is he kind of skates back towards the blue line and leaps in the air, then pushes the puck in. Which
interesting.
You could make the call that he's offside, but it leads to the.
But
goal.
you could be so impressed by the play that you'd let it go.
Yep. They literally do the same exact cut across. He jumps over Thompson. This time, though, we finally get the first named hockey player. Rob Blake comes along and just clotheslines him.
Oh, yeah.
Arm out, sends Roanoke flipping through the air, landing on his face. Rob Blake just skates away, gives a little smile. Refs don't care. Roanoke's obviously on the ice, concussed. He's not awake. He's having a terrible time. A few jokes later, we get the Altoid elbow to the face.
Yep.
The game.
That clothesline was pretty great. That was like the one where he got clotheslined and he did like a flip and.
Yep.
Yeah.
For a Leafs game, I haven't seen any paper bags, so I'm really not convinced this is actually a Leafs game.
No jerseys thrown on the ice.
Yep.
Like I don't know. This isn't a Leafs game.
Doesn't seem like a Leafs game.
The entire lower bowl isn't all corporate owned, and there's actual people in the stands.
It's filled. It's really weird. So Roanoke wakes up on the bench because he's got tons of space to lay down on the bench. He's got a concussion for sure. Guru Pickett tells him he can fight anyone now for any reason, and Roanoke goes like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He goes, "You can go fight anyone for any reason." So he leaps over the boards and goes right for Justin Timberlake.
Beeline, an absolute beeline, and this hit that he lays on him is just fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. So that causes a line brawl. Everybody goes crazy.
Oh, he's like slamming Justin Timberlake's face too. Like he's hitting him. Like they're fighting, and he's just beating this dude. like,
banging his
like,
head on the post.
yeah, he bangs it like, and how is he not have a concussion and he's not out forever? Like indefinitely. like I don't know.
It's bad.
Again, it's ridiculous. The
Uh,
beating he gave, and then and then during this whole thing, the ref looks out at him and is like, "Roanoke, that's a game suspension," and it's like, it's hilarious because they always give out suspensions on ice, and then he does something else. He's like, "That's 2 games," and it's like,
well, he gives him the suspension, and then he looks over at Guru, and Mini Me argues with him. Vern Troyer argues with him. So he looks over at Guru, and Guru says, "Fight anybody, any reason." And slap shots the puck at Coach. Like hits him square in the face. The Department of Player Safety is a joke. They do a Mike Myers.
they
holds
spin the
up.
wheel. They spin the wheel, and it's 2 games.
Well, yeah, I mean that's okay. So there are 2 realistic parts: the Leafs not being one of them, but the Department of Player Safety like completely missing the point. One is 1 point.
Well, they cut it out. They cut out the Department of. It
they don't
doesn't
show you
exist
that.
in this universe. The Department of Player Safety doesn't exist. It's
Must have
just
been
the
left on the cutting room floor.
refs just handing out like suspensions and penalties. Like, well, not just penalties, but that's what their job is. But the suspensions, I was just very surprised to see that they were handing them out on the ice.
They do an Oscar scene to where Guru's holding up the coach and saying, "This is heavier than what I thought it would be," and then they dropped it.
Put me down, you idiot! And he drops him. Like it's more midget jokes.
Oh, there are so many terrible poor Vern Troyer. You got to wonder, like, did he enjoy that? Like, was that part of, that kind of like constant? Because all Mike Myers did in this movie is make fun of Vern
From-
Troyer.
Yeah.
From what I've seen of like when he was alive with like his Instagram account, he's fully aware of what goes on. And there's a blooper scene
At the very
movie.
end, yeah,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
great.
And it's the
That's
best
the only funny part in the movie.
It's the best joke. It's the best joke. I'll add it. I'll put it in right here.
Hey, Peter, can we move the camera in? All I can see is asses.
Now you know what it's like.
Yeah.
So, but basically, he makes a butt joke because they go, "Can you zoom in? All we see is asses." And Vern Troyer goes, "Oh yeah, welcome
Now
to
you
what
know
I
what
see."
it feels
Now
like.
you know what it's like.
Now you know what it's like. Like he's just always
So-
his asses. He's ass height. Oh God, that
They have
guy.
a little meeting in Coach's
But that-
office, and it's tiny because he's.
Okay. So I don't know that's funny because it's not making direct fun of Vern Troyer. Like it's I don't know. The things that Mike Myers did in this film just seemed kind of mean. Like the jokes that were aimed towards they were just all mean. It's supposed to be funny because it's naughty, right?
Just
That's
mean.
it. But it was just mean. It just seemed mean. I'm like, I feel kind of bad for this guy. I wouldn't want somebody to say such nasty things. I don't know. It was mean. Felt mean. Anyway,
It's a clever part of the movie. Well, it's not really clever because it's the obvious joke, but they never. The reason I think that works is because they never bring it up for him being in a tiny office.
Which is hilarious. Okay,
They just
that
roll
office
with it.
scene, that little office scene is
puts his head
Again,
through this.
again one of my stupid things that I just enjoyed about it because it was for no reason. They don't address it really. They just say like, next time we have a meeting, I want to do it. Jessica Alba's character. Next time we have a meeting, we're doing it in my office. And then they never have a meeting in her office. I don't remember. I don't know. But it's the whole thing is just silly because it's like, of course he would have a little office and a little door, and of course they would. Like that makes total sense. Like that's how you accommodate a small person, right? Like you make everything wrong for everyone else except for him. I don't know. Oh, this little office with a little water cooler in it too. When they get up, they're like the whole thing, the water cooler like falls apart, and I'm just like, yeah, it's like that's an actual it's a water cooler. Like
The little water cooler.
It's really good. It's a good setup. We then take a road trip to go see.
No. There's a stupid shower scene.
Oh, that's right. There's stupid shower
They
scene.
they go immediately from Little Office to Mike
Oh.
Myers in the shower with tassels on, soaping himself up next to our boy, right? And they're like, "We're gonna go visit your mom," and he's like, "No," and he runs out of the shower, still all soaped up, and Mike Myers is like making naughty faces because he's soaping himself up. It's just
Oh, I
so
forgot.
stupid. It's so dumb.
I forgot Jim Gaffigan breaking down the suspension.
Oh, he was
like-
channeling his inner Madden. He's like, he's suspended for the next 2 games, and if he can't make the 2 games, he can't play, and the Leafs won't play well because they don't have the star player, and you can't win games like that if you don't play. Jesus Christ.
Basically.
Yeah.
So the Kings at this point in the movie, Kings are up 1-0. We go to a church where we see Aunt Rachel from Family Matters,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
She's
Mama
in a black
Roanoke.
ladies. She's in a black ladies choir.
Yeah, she's in a Black Ladies choir. I think she's the only person in the choir.
Yeah.
When they show up.
She's also. This is Buffalo apparently.
Yes, she lives in Buffalo. So they set up. They really drill home that he can't play because he can't stand up to his mom. That's why he has such a hard time.
Puts
Scared
too
of
much
her.
pressure on him. Puts too much pressure on him.
Puts too much
Yeah.
pressure on him. They then do like what's this point? It's been vilified, but the OK symbol, and you put it down by your junk.
What do they
Look
call
at
it? They
it.
call it
Ball
ball
gazing.
gazing.
Ball
Ball
gazing.
Ball
gazing.
gazing. Which I've never heard it called ball gazing, but that's
But it makes sense. I can appreciate it. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
I'm 15. And this is funny. And
I'm
it always
15.
will be. It always will be. Okay.
punches his arm. We then get more naughty because it's funny because it's naughty jokes. This is where we see Daniel Tosh. We also find out that the Kings have gone up 2-0, and that kind of starts a whole giant bar scene because you have to have a giant bar fight.
You have to have
scene.
a bar fight, and then you have
That's
Daniel Tosh is like calling
He's a
him out.
cowboy.
Yeah, he's a cowboy, and like I don't know how. So you have a couple of scenes in the bar fight that are silly, where like a guy hits a guy with a chair, and then the guy picks the chair up and hits the other guy with a chair, and the guy picks another chair up and hits him with a chair. I thought that was dumb but funny, and also the
like-
children.
That's like
Yeah.
a Mike Myers bit for sure. Like the chair and then the chair and then the chair and then the chair. Mike Myers bit all the way.
Yeah.
The whole
That-
bar fight is opposites. The nerdy guy punches the biker. The little girls beat up Guru.
Who's having a little girl's birthday party at a bar in Buffalo? Like that's what I want to know.
Who isn't having a little girl's birthday party at a bar? in Buffalo?
It's great. It's so
Normal
good.
people, I guess.
I guess normal people, but like the fact that they're, you know what I mean, they're like they're involved in the bar fight too is, it's pretty funny. And then they get thrown out a window,
Yes.
Yeah.
then
and
they
this
do-
guy, what's his face has a fucking piece of glass in his forehead.
Hubel.
Yeah, he just pulls it out. And he's like, it's mine. And it's like, yeah, and then somehow, what's his face ends up with Daniel Tosh's cowboy hat.
Yes.
When they're out by Niagara Falls. I don't know, there's no exchange. They like, do you figure there's maybe a little bit more that got cut? Like they're like became friends and he gave him the cowboy hat and they left, but no, it's like you just see them like the next scene is like they snap to like they're at the falls and he's wearing a cowboy hat now. Like
the worst green screen.
it's like they're already at the falls. Like they had to do something at the falls, right? And like they have like footage of them walking to and from the falls like during a sunset or whatever, and it looks nice. But like then they had to green screen them onto the falls, and it's
I don't
terrible.
think they were actually at the falls. I think because the falls green screen is far enough away, it looks
Mhm.
better. But once they get a close up for the face, it's like, oh, that's right.
He is bad.
I don't know, man. I just don't get why. Like if you're gonna have a falls scene, just like go film at the falls. I don't know.
Well, I mean, what was the? Well, I guess the budget was pretty big for this movie, so there's no real reason.
60 mil.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was no reason they shouldn't have been able to go to the falls to film.
Yeah,
For
You had
one-
to pay
for-
Mike
for-
Myers $61 million.
Just Jessica Alba got peanuts. I don't know.
But
I don't
Do you know
know.
who did get peanuts? The star of our last movie.
The monkey. Honestly, again, and I don't know that I need to. I don't need to know that I need to say this more than once, but that movie, that
way
MVP
better.
was a better movie than this
It was.
movie.
It really actually.
It had a more wholesome. It had a more wholesome message. It had a better plot. To be honest, I felt like it had like a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it felt like satisfying to know that it ended and that like he got back to his parents and you know what I mean. Like it again, for being a kids movie, you don't want it to be too deep, but it felt like it had a purpose, right? Like this movie.
And the characters were better. Like the caretaker character in the movie.
Yeah.
Best character ever. I loved him. Still love him. I think he was fantastic.
You see growth in the characters.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like the kids, like the girl makes more friends and she's more outgoing, and you know the other kid, you know, like he plays his hockey and he does well and he gets invited to like a junior team, and like you know things happen and like you know things end on a high note for everybody and everything is good. It's like this movie, like yeah, it ends on a high note, but like yeah, like it's like they're already at the Stanley Cup Finals. The stakes just felt like real low for what it was. I don't know because they didn't make the Stanley Cup feel serious. It's like this whole thing was supposed to be like Stanley Cup Final, like oh yeah, like no, like you feel like it's like you know spring training camp. I don't know. I don't know.
It's the movie's not great. But
I know it's bad.
it's-
It's bad. We keep saying it.
we've
The
watched
movie is
this
bad.
We've all watched this movie. So this is
Oh.
where we get our second sitar song cover. We get More Than Words. It's not bad. I did like that the roadie was like he had the little lighter. He's like waving it back and forth at one point. That was pretty good. But this actually is just to set up that it's date night with Jane. The next 10 minutes of the movie, 5 minutes of the movie is how many dick jokes can you make in 10 minutes? Ready, go. And that's the whole plot. Like the whole thing is they go like, "Oh, Jessica Alba is hot. I like Jessica Alba. She's hot. Aren't you hot? She's hot. Look how hot she is. Here's a ball joke. Jessica Alba's hot."
Oh fuck, we missed a Wayne's World reference.
Oh, when they're driving in the car, right?
Yeah, when
Yeah,
they're driving the car to go visit his mom. Sorry, I had that note and I wanted to bring it up. I forgot.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, they keep switching the radio back and forth, and then Queen comes on, and then Mike Myers looks at the camera. Like it was, yeah, I appreciated that.
It was a
Yeah.
nice little nod.
It was not terrible.
So, turns out that Guru Pitka can't seal the deal because he's got a chastity belt, and their love can never be.
The ball sack food too.
Yep, ball sack food.
The ball sack food, and the whole movie is still a giant dick joke.
Yep.
Bangkok, because he
We've probably said this whole movie's a dick joke for an
Yep.
hour and how long
It's
are we doing the
just-
show right now? 1 minute 15.
Yeah,
been
it's a
minute 15
giant
of-
dick joke.
This is a dick joke.
There's a scene where his assistant is like taking like a meat mallet and like banging on these nuts, and like they just keep going ooh ah ooh ah, watching this dude pound this fake nutsack with a hammer, and it's just bad. Like it's bad. Then he puts it in hot oil, and they're like ah, and he lowers it. He's like up and down like and like it's just fucking terrible. I don't know.
It's a bad movie.
A bad movie.
Unfortunately, we find out that the Kings are up 3-0. But what are the Leafs to do?
3-1. Come on, Jim, get it right. This is a Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, it's game 3. They won game 3, meaning they're up 3-0 in the series.
Not. They're up 2-1. They won they won the first game. Toronto won the first game. Remember?
No, they did not.
I thought they did.
I'm gonna right here. I'm gonna have the overlay. Of the
Can't
game.
remember. Yeah, like it make me look. Yeah, make me look
no,
dumb right
this
now.
is the
I know
first-
because I can't remember because I thought they won the first game, but you're right, they didn't. So
This is the first time we see the little cutscene with the little thing. The little maple leaf logo gets whacked by the Kings logo, like with his. he's got a
Gets
hockey-
shot. Doesn't he get shot with a gun?
I think the first one he hits him with a hockey stick.
Okay. I wish they did. I wish they did that. I wish they had those. That is the NHL thing. I wish was
Yeah,
real.
he whacks him in the wrist with the stick, and the little maple leaf falls.
yeah,
They
because they're
get
going
their-
for the. I remember now because the whole thing is that they're going to end up going for the reverse sweep. Like
Maybe, bro. Don't spoil the movie.
whatever. I'm spoiling the movie. This is that hard to telegraph. This is that hard to telegraph what they're going to do here.
12-year-old. It's a 12-year-old movie that should never have been made. So
I don't-
there's no spoiling.
So they then show a player like a team meeting with only I think it was 10 players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 10 players.
Before this, there's a scene where they go and they visit. They go and they visit our boy's wife when he's with Lecoq. She's with Lecoq at a club or something like that. And I legitimately thought they were going to get Celine Dion to be in this movie, and I'm really glad they didn't.
That's the scene after this.
Oh, damn it! Where are my notes? God, okay, I get it now. Because the Bangkok thing, that's where Vern Troyer punches him in the nuts. I remember now.
Yep. So then John Oliver tells Guru that he has to get Roanoke back with Prudence, or he's going to lose the Oprah spot. So that's when they're in the club, and he's trying to figure out a way to sneak Prudence away, and they're at a bar and all this other stuff. And because he's French Canadian, he obviously loves Celine Dion.
Yeah.
So he says that, and he like clutches at his heart, runs to the front of the stage, is dancing. I believe it's her real voice. It's obviously didn't use her.
It's her. They got licensed for the music or something.
Yeah.
But they definitely didn't, because when they showed the back of her head, I was like, oh, they're gonna pan around, it's gonna be her, and I'm gonna be disappointed because Celine Dion shouldn't ruin her life in this movie, and I'm glad because they didn't. They didn't do that. They couldn't pay for her, and I'm okay with it.
Dodged the bullet on that.
Dodged the bullet there.
You dodged it, Celine. Good
You
job.
dodged that bullet, Celine Dion. She probably looked at the script and was like, I'm gonna be in a what, doing what?
Yeah.
And then they're like, she's like, nah, I ain't doing that, dog. That's racist.
Like, but Ben Kingsley's in it. Come on.
Bro, Justin Timberlake's in this movie. Jessica
yeah.
Alba's in this movie. Mike Myers at the peak of his
I'm
career.
pretty sure the only reason Justin Timberlake was in this movie was because it wasn't. Weren't they a couple at this point?
Alba and
Justin Timberlake.
maybe I don't know that. I'd have to ask my wife.
How do you know that?
I don't know. It just sounds like something that would be.
Really? That was aggressive. How do you know that? So the whole point of the distraction is that Prudence is going to sneak over to the bar, and that's where the love guru is going to sneak in his message, like, you have to get back. She's like, oh, well, this guy. And JT's too busy dancing, super excited. He's magically 7 feet tall. Like, they show crowd scenes, and it's easy to spot him because he's in a fur coat, and he looks like a 70s porn star, and he's doing like the
sprinkler.
The sprinkler, and
which was pretty amazing.
It was. Watching Justin Timberlake do the sprinkler is pretty cool.
I'm not mad at it. It's just he's suddenly like 7-8 feet tall.
Yeah, because he's like standing on a box in the middle of everything. I don't know.
So this sets up the very last scene of the movie, to where the idea is that Pitka tries to convince Prudence to go back and magically succeeds because they're running out of movie budget. Unfortunately, he let it slip that she has to try and convince his mother to get along too. And that's when Justin Timberlake overhears it, and he goes, if he had a handlebar mustache, I swear he would have like twisted it like, I know exactly what to do. So they basically set up that he's going to use his mother to ruin him in the finals, but at this point, the Kings are up 3-0. Roanoke's coming back, but he's played like shit. Up to this point. It's this point in the movie for me to where it dawns on me what's happened. Not only is Roanoke good, and are the Leafs good enough to play without Roanoke, because he's been having this issue for a while, and they've made it to the Stanley Cup Finals without him, being the stud superstar that he was. Why do they need him right now?
I don't know.
Because
I have no idea.
They won games to get to the Stanley Cup to where they are, and
he's obviously like been having problems.
So what?
It's the classic misunderstanding of hockey. Maybe like people
that one player makes a huge difference.
Yeah, one player makes a huge difference.
Myers is a pretty big Leafs fan, which I can understand why he doesn't remember what it's like.
And what would be the point of the you have to have maybe the star player. I don't understand what the point of this movie is anyway, so I'm not going to even make that case.
Were you not listening to us the last 15 minutes, the last hour and a half hour of this movie? Hour and a half.
This movie sucks.
Yeah.
So the basic idea is that magically Prudence and Roanoke seem to make up. They get back together. Everything's okay. The trick to this part is they're using this to show that Guru Pitka took a shortcut through his methods to get them back together. And now that they're back together, he's guaranteed the Oprah spot. He's guaranteed the $2 million from the Leafs. Even though he's taking a shortcut, his assistant is like, bro, you can't take the shortcut. And he's like, oh, it's okay. John Oliver pops a bunch of champagne. Miss Bullard lays it on a little thick again, and then we get another, this is never going to work out. Sorry. It's now game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals. And now that Roanoke has got his mojo back, it's time for him to turn into Wayne Gretzky again.
like Wayne Gretzky on steroids or crack, something. I don't know.
He's scoring goals. He's doing illegal checks. This is before the curved glass.
Yeah. This is
oh
the
my
montage.
God! The open door. The
this is
open
the
door
montage
hit on
with
the stanchion.
Yeah, with the Zdeno Chara Max Pacioretty hit, that.
Yeah,
one? Yeah.
Like he would have been suspended 12 games.
Oh yeah,
or for life after that hit because the door was open. The stanchion. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. He put him into the open door and into the stanchion, intentionally, trying to hurt him.
He fucking charges him. He charges him. There's a few issues. Basically, there's a guy who gets off the ice just as the other player is making his way towards the bench, and then he gets just creamed into the stanchion and into the ground, and they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But it's hockey, so it's a tough guy sport. Luckily, the Leafs figure out a way to win Game 4. We get Mike Myers. I think the whole point he wanted to make this movie is to tell everybody that he's a Leafs fan because he has a giant foam finger. Yay, go Leafs.
And he's with Kanye West, right? Is this the Kanye West?
That's
don't ruin that. We can't ruin that part.
So Roanoke dipsy doos and dangles his way to a 2-1 victory in Game 6. The Toronto Sun calls him the comeback kid.
Kim Kardashian. Anyway.
Nope. Yeah, I got your joke. We get because everybody forgot that this is also a Mike Myers versus Deepak Chopra. They gotta throw that in.
Yeah.
So we haven't talked about that in 45 minutes.
Deepak Chopra.
So they say it about 6 or 7 times. He's the Leafs. Mike Myers is the Leafs' secret weapon. Is he the new? It's the Guru Wars.
Oh, don't they have Guru beards in the crowds too at this point, and
people are getting his face tattooed on their chest.
Yeah.
It's not a great.
Weird.
We tried. Don't worry, we'll make sure we screw it up later. It's Game 6. Everything's going okay. We get a phenomenal pass to Roanoke to center. This is where they set up the 5-hole trap. So, if you're not a hockey fan and you don't know what we're talking about, 1, why you listen to this show? 2, we don't stop listening. 3, the 5-hole is basically on a goaltender. There's a spot in between his leg. It's called the 5-hole. I'm pretty sure they set up the whole long cock joke just for this scene.
Yep.
The idea is that he shows the 5-hole and then quick snatches it away. Jay Kell, also known as Stephen Colbert, does his Kellustration.
Illustration. So he's drawing on an image with a red pen.
Yeah, he does the Telestrator thing, shows the 4 spots, talks about how these are the 4 holes, and then he basically just draws a dick.
Taking balls. It's just another dick joke.
Yeah, it's literally just another dick joke. It's pretty bad.
Now, Mike Myers' other movies are full of jokes. In fairness, there's the sausage scene in is it The Spy Who Shagged Me?
Yeah, and then the scenes where like they're pulling things out of his butt and the
yeah. You know what though? They focused on other parts too, because there's like the melons and there's there are other jokes within that scene that kind of make that work and make it funny. It's just dicks.
Yeah, but you know
Right.
what? This movie isn't funny, so that's why the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not good.
So after the Kellustration, we get the final scene for Game 6. Now, the issue I have with this is, remember in the training session where he flicked the puck up and then chopped at it baseball style?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So not only are a bunch of the players not in position to cover him or do anything about it, but he flicks it up and takes a swing with it. And I'm pretty sure
It's illegal.
it's perfectly
over the
legal to
crossbar.
do that. It's over the crossbar.
Yeah.
So it should be no goal.
It's high stick.
It's
Yeah.
a high stick.
Again, it's one of those things I just don't understand.
So Leafs win. Everybody's excited. They tie the series. The reverse sweep might be coming. Who knows? We don't know what to do. The only thing we really they dump. This is the second football scene. They dump Gatorade over.
Oh yeah,
Gatorade,
how about that?
and then just put the Gatorade bucket over them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for dumping the Gatorade, but
I guess
it's Game 6, huh?
They haven't done that yet. It's not a win yet. So like I don't know.
Do hockey teams? I've never seen a hockey team dump Gatorade.
They don't
They
have
don't.
they don't really have a thing
Yeah.
behind the bench like that.
They all have like their individual squirt bottles. Like I guess you could all like, squirt the coach.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So, but John Oliver's super excited because obviously he's making this work. The only issue is the Love Guru is upset that he's taking shortcuts, and his
They will
assistant
come back to
won't
haunt him.
stop pointing it out.
You're taking shortcuts. You're taking shortcuts. You will regret this. like I don't know. He seems like he's more in control than the Love Guru. The guy that's supposed to know what he's doing. Which I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
It's not great. There's a scene to where they basically really drive home he's taking shortcuts and I'm only taking shortcuts, and John Oliver's like, bro, we're getting paid $2 million. I don't care how many shortcuts you
Take the shortcuts.
So he takes the check. They kind of bounce. Everything's going okay. Pre-game for the show. The circus is in town, and they have an elephant dressed up in some goalie gear.
That they take shots at.
And little kids are barely pushing pucks to the goal
awful.
to the
Yes.
elephant, which is kind of fucked up. We get a scene of
Remember, this is a girl elephant too.
yes.
Also an important plot point. the other elephant that they were riding before. Also, I forgot to mention there was a scene like right after they were riding the elephant back from Lecoq's house that like they're holding up a trash can behind the elephant, and the dude gets like catches an elephant shit and it like hits him and knocks him over because it's too much shit.
Yeah, when they get back to the listen, elephant shit is about the size. Each little nugget's about the size of
Yeah.
a soccer ball.
Yeah, which is again, it's hilarious to me when I saw them holding it up. I'm like, yeah, I get what they're doing, but that's just a bad idea. Like, why would you do that? It's not a good idea. So yeah, sorry, that was a throwback to the closer to the beginning of the movie, but still a funny thing. I'm sorry.
So we get a prep scene, a hype scene where the Vern Troyer is hyping up the Maple Leafs. We're gonna win Game 7, all this other stuff. And they cut to the Kings, and the Kings are really bummed out. Justin Timberlake says, "Don't worry, I have a secret plan." And if you can't guess what the secret plan is in this part of the movie, screw you.
It's been spelled out the entire movie.
Yep.
John Oliver and Mike Myers are catching the plane to go to Oprah, and they see on the TV that Justin Timberlake has an ace up his sleeve, and oh my god, I can't believe it. It's Aunt Rachel.
She's singing the national
She's
anthem.
going to sing the national anthem. I can't believe it. Get the hell out of here. So this causes Roanoke to get his hand starts to shake, and then he just runs away. Just like skates away and leaves and hides in the locker room.
Yeah.
Guru Pitka sees this and is like, I gotta go help him. And John Oliver's like, no, man, we made the $2 million. Let's fucking bounce. And he goes, no, I gotta help him. So
I took shortcuts and I feel bad.
The Kings,
I don't care about being the next Deepak Chopra.
The Kings are up 1-0 at the end of the first period. Apparently, there's time for Justin Timberlake to celebrate with a little robot dance at the end of the period instead of just skating off the ice.
Yeah. Who knows why, but he's doing it.
They're trying to get Roanoke out of the locker room, but his mom and his wife are like, they're banging on the door. They can't get him out. All this other stuff. We get Mike Myers tugging his luggage through the airport on his magic carpet pillow. Like it has like a proper hitch.
Like a hitch.
Setup.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my god, I'm gonna come. We're gonna get all the way there. We're gonna do all this stuff. I'm gonna save you.
Oh
and
my
I had
God.
They finally get a scene to where Jane Bullard walks past the fans to the into the seating area, like into the stands, and they all start booing her and like chucking light popcorn, which is bush league shit. If you're gonna throw something, beer, hot dogs, batteries,
shoes,
whatever you got laying around.
Who throws
shoes? Shoes or popcorn. So it's at this point. I'm trying to get. I'm trying to figure out where I was. So at this point, it's 1-0. Bullard turns and yells at the fans, and they basically respect her right away, and they all clap. Like all she had to do was turn around and go, "No, you!" And they're like, "Oh, you're not terrible."
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Okay.
She runs down to the bench instead of coming out where the players are. She runs through the stands for some reason, and tells Vern Troyer, "You have to do this. You have to do
stall.
You have
calling
to stall."
timeout."
So
Whatever.
he does call a timeout, but he calls a timeout football style. The
Ref,
play is
timeout.
happening. You just timeout.
Yes,
And
timeout,
the
ref.
goes, okay.
Okay, it's timeout. Oh my God.
And I'm like, I don't understand what the fuck is going on. Mike Myers is supposed to be a huge Leafs fan. He knows the rules.
Yeah.
He knows hockey, at least a little.
How did he write this?
Who knows?
We then get a quick flash of we find out that there are 6 minutes left in the third period. And I had to do a little bit of research. Because you got to remember, he's in an airport. and he manages to get from the airport to the stadium in a certain amount of time. Now, at this point, if we're supposed to believe this is a real thing, not only is Toronto in the Stanley Cup finals, it's Game 7.
Yeah, Game 7.
It should be a madhouse to get anywhere close to that stadium.
Oh yeah, anywhere in the city.
Like
Could you
people will be
imagine?
dying outside.
Oh,
Like
Yeah,
like win lose, there would be a riot just because it's Toronto.
I wanted to figure out what's the closest airport to the Scotiabank Center Arena.
How long would it take?
How long does it take? Well, the closest airport, which I'm assuming is the one he potentially could have been traveling out of, is the Toronto Pearson International Airport. It's a half hour away. So not only is he getting to the stadium in the time's not terrible,
But it's still not good.
A whole
Still-
period's gone by, and most of almost 2 periods have gone by. So the timeline sort of lines up. It's just he was able to rush in right away. He runs all the way back to the locker room. He finally lets Jane Bullard know why they could never work out because of his chastity belt. It's really just an excuse for Mike Myers.
Another
to drop
dick
his
joke.
pants.
Yep, more
Make
dick
it a
jokes.
Dick joke. And then he manages to get into the locker room, talk to Roanoke, what do you got to do? You just got to stand up to the thing you fear the most. What do you fear the most? Your mother.
The resolution here is the best for me because they're like, okay, it's time to go confront your mom, and he goes out and he's like, Mom, I'm a grown man, I love you, and that's it. That's resolution. That's the whole thing. That's all he needed to tell his mother. I'm a grown man, I love you, and that's it. That's it. That's the entire movie right there. I'm a grown man, I love you, and that's it.
Sometimes you just got to tell your mom, "I'm a grown man, I love." I mean,
But that fixed all of his jitter problems. It's his entire hockey career hinged on telling his mom that he was a grown man and that I love you, and that's what was keeping him. That's what was giving him the yips. His entire NHL career. I can't play in front of my mom because I never told her I'm a grown man and that I love her.
I love
Like
her.
I'm sorry. Again, it just makes the whole thing feel cheap because it's like if there was maybe an actual heartfelt moment here, like a mom, like I appreciate you putting so much pressure on me. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think, you know what I mean? Like maybe like going into just taking a second to
But that's not a funny dick joke.
I know.
Yeah.
See, but again, it's like you need some serious moments to offset the stupidity of the movie, and it's like they did none of that. None of it. Nothing was serious. Nothing at all about this movie was serious.
But you can't do it without the funny dick joke.
I know.
You can. I mean, you can.
So there's 6 minutes left. It's going to take Roanoke 5 minutes to get dressed to really show you how much time is of the essence. He runs in. Everybody's all happy. Roanoke goes right out to the bench, and I don't know if it's legal for him to come back because he dressed and he was there for the anthem, and then he went away. So at this point, the game.
He's on the roster, so I mean, it could have just been like an injury. You could call it. You know what I mean? He came. Yeah, I'd say yes. I would say yes.
I mean, didn't Luongo
But he
have an
was
issue
already
during?
playing, and then he had the shits, so he went to take a shit.
You could say it. You could say that. You could say that. You know what I mean? It was a similar thing. Like he was on the roster for the night, and he walked off the ice with some sort of mental injury, whatever, upper body injury.
Yeah,
It's possible.
it's like taking a shit. You know,
It's like taking a shit.
it's
on
the
your
whole
entire
movie.
team. On your
The
entire
whole-
team.
The whole movie is like
It's like taking a shit.
So he gets. Unfortunately, it does take slightly longer than 5 minutes for him to get his gear on and get to the ice. There is 30 seconds to go. He comes over the boards to take the face-off. He showcases his skill by lifting the puck up into the zone. Literally everyone
Looks
watches
up.
it. Just watches.
Just watches it sail across, and he's like, "Rule number 1: never watch the puck." And it's like, whatever.
So they all watch it. Like everybody stands still while this happened. Rob Blake's like, "What?" They get. To be honest, I think they set that up just so they can show the Stanley Cup banners.
Right.
It then flies. You know, it's first off, the puck's traveling the wrong direction. If it's going left to right across the banners, those banners are displayed left to right across the ice.
More continuity errors.
So it flies. It goes all the way into the zone. Lecoq just watches it. Roanoke skates in, all determined. JT makes no attempt to actually stop the play, catch the puck. He just kind of lets it go, hit the crossbar, and bounce around. By then, two of the Kings players have, made it pretty close. And now I thought we were going to get to Michigan.
But instead, he just picks it up and bats it in again like an idiot.
Well, he scoops it up, and he does scoop it into the net, except he scoops it through the 5-hole. And
So it's
called
really
the
just a
Ice
wraparound.
Slam.
The Ice Slam instead of just a wraparound.
So it's tie game time, baby. There are 8 seconds left. Now, mind you, it took 22 seconds. I'm sorry. 22 seconds for the puck to go
To do all that.
to be lifted up into the air, hit the crossbar, go behind the net, and be tucked in. That's 22 seconds.
I wanted to point something out. When he comes back from the locker room, they take a face-off on center ice.
For no reason.
For no reason.
Mm-hmm.
No reason. None. There's no reason. Nobody said.
Yeah, it's
and
just
I remember
all the face-offs are at center ice, guys. Just
Yeah.
FYI.
I'm like,
Just a Stanley Cup final.
the only goal that's been scored the entire game was the one goal in the first period. What other reason do you start? When else do you have a face-off on center ice? Just after a goal, right?
They could have had offsetting penalties. There could have been the puck could have gone on a play. It could have been the play could.
Do you take a center ice face-off during offsetting penalties?
Pretty sure you do.
I thought it would be either in the zone or wherever, wherever it's
Because
closest. I don't know.
that gives a disadvantage. If two players, anyway.
Anyway,
there's a few options, but none of them are likely.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't happen often.
There's 8 seconds left. In this 8 seconds, the very next scene, the face-off happens. It goes into the Leaf zones. It then goes all the way back out. It takes 7 seconds for Roanoke to skate in and get tripped up.
And it's the only penalty they call in the entire thing, except for tossing him out in the first game that we saw.
Oh Lord, that's so unreal. Could you imagine the running a penalty shot in the Stanley Cup final in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final?
To end the game,
It's
potentially?
a breakaway. It's a breakaway.
But
It looks like a legit. It looks like a legit call. I'll give him the call.
But
I'm not mad at the call.
It's the most
one hockey thing to get right.
It would be the most controversial call ever.
This is
I can't.
Toronto.
I can't imagine it ever. Well, yeah. If they don't call, then Toronto burns down the entire stadium. If they do call it, Toronto still burns down the entire stadium.
Exactly.
I mean, this is a lose-lose for those refs.
Exactly.
So he skates in, gets tripped up, goes down, and it's a last chance. It's a penalty shot. What are you going to do? So for whatever reason, they allow the goaltender to skate up to him at center ice to try and psych him out.
Psych him out. He's got something to say. And he has to drop another dick joke on him.
Yes.
It's essentially a cutback to when Lecoq was with his wife, and she's show me, and you hear he pulls it out and it hits the bed, and she's like, wow, and then they're all on the bench what did he say to you? What did he say to you?
Well, it was damn. It was damn. Right?
Yes.
Was it damn or wow? Yeah.
No, it's damn. Well, because damn was the thing that he used to say to his wife, or his wife used to say to him in bed.
Yeah.
It was like the way they said I love you to each other. Damn.
Yeah.
It was implied, but
Yeah.
So now because
he said damn.
Yeah, he's triggered again. His hands start to shake. They need a timeout, but they've already used their football timeout.
So how do you get another football timeout? You fake
a heart attack.
Fake a heart attack. So what does Gordon Troyer do? He fakes a heart attack. Ref, I'm having a heart attack. And he just keels over. It's terrible.
He just keels over. So what are they going to do? Obviously,
The paddle thing
They're gonna come out and they're gonna defibrillate him. He's gonna fly off the side of the fucking board and into the other goal. And then the guy that's at the end of the ice in the button room for the goal horn is half asleep and he sees something cross the line. He's like, huh! And he hits the button and it's like, oh, there's a goal. And
Cool.
yes, it's hilarious.
Okay, that was kind of
kind of funny. But the fact that he flies away when they hit him with the paddles, like he just rockets off the fucking bench.
And then comes the worst part of the movie.
They
So
bring
remember
out the
these
two
plot
elephants.
Remember the plot points we told you that at the beginning, fucking elephants is important. The male elephant that he's riding, important. The female elephant stopping pucks, important. This is all important.
Yeah, so they bring the elephants out as part of the. They roll on a red carpet, and everybody notices, literally, besides Roanoke, because he's stunned.
He's so psyched up. Yeah, he's so psyched up.
So what they do is they roll out the red carpet. The elephants, make baby elephants, and everybody's in shock.
He's riding. He's on the back of one of the elephants, and the elephant's humping the old elephant, and he's in the saddle, and he's just like rocking back and forth, like it's like a really rough fucking ride. I don't know.
What can I don't even like this is the weirdest part of the movie. Like they Vern Troyer fakes a heart attack to be shot across the goal line while Mike Myers' character, what the fuck is his name anyway? Pikta. Well, Pikta is like looking for Pitka.
Guru Pitka.
You watched this whole movie, you don't know his name?
I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, we know, Mr. Penn.
In real life, like, but okay.
All right, let's not do that right now.
Like the whole, he distracts him so that he can bring an elephant onto the ice to hump each other. Like it's beyond reason. It doesn't make any sense at all. They roll out a red carpet. The freaking the doors on the ice open up, and out come two elephants to procreate.
Yep.
In front of a live studio audience, in front of probably thousands of people at the arena, right before the penalty shot. Like who? Why? Why does this happen?
It could damage the ice.
It could.
The game's not over yet. If
exactly
makes the save, they're going overtime.
Well, here's the other thing too. During this, one of the things that not that I don't know, not that it's not dumb, but they zoom in on two people in the crowd and they're fat. And
oh my god! That was like they kiss each other or whatever. They're like,
you're like calling these people elephant. I mean, I'm like you're fat shaming. This movie has been racist. This movie has been insensitive to every group. Like they're trying to be insensitive to every single group of people. Like
we made fun of little people. We've made fun of black people. We've made fun of Indian people. We've made fun of French Canadian people. We got it all. We got it all.
There was a scene where Guru Pitka calls his assistant, and his assistant picks up the phone, and he's an Indian like IT operator for for Dell, and his name is Chip, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it.
Thank you, sir. Dell Computers, this is Chip.
Rajneesh, wait a second. Who is Chip?
I took another job.
And I was just like, again, how many stereotypes can you throw out?
He leaves his job as his assistant, and he's like, well, I'll become a help desk guy. Like, what? Like, how does that make any sense?
That's what Indian people do, don't you know? Like that's what all of them do.
Yeah.
Like, again, just fucking insensitive shit. Like, holy fuck. Again, So this is the distraction, because we saw this at the beginning. This is the grand distraction to get his mind off of the goaltender on the other end of the ice, dicking his wife down with what I would think you could probably compare to an elephant cock. I would think that it would be less of a distraction and more of a reminder of what happened. But that's just me. I don't know.
So,
anyway,
obviously, this is all a distraction, which is one of the tenets of his drama tattoo. he's able to get up to Roanoke, and he says, "What do you know? What happens if you don't make the shot?" And Roanoke magically has a change of heart, and it's like, "Well, I still love myself, and that's the most important thing. That I love myself, even if I don't win, and I don't.
I'm
you know,
still a hero, and I'm still a hero to
hero."
me. That's what I'm still a hero to me, and like that, you're a fucking idiot.
So
Okay.
he goes to take the shot, and they set up the whole
5-hole trap.
5-hole trap again. Takes a big loop around, skates on in,
Feigns a
moves.
shot.
Does he fake a shot? I think it's
Yeah, he
straight
fakes the
in.
shot. He fakes the shot. He fakes the shot to look like he's going 5-hole, and then he
That's right.
goes to the right.
Yeah, he fakes. Oh, that's right. He fakes the shot. They actually use this footage twice. When he first bats the puck in, I'm pretty sure it's the same exact one that they use for that shootout scene.
Surprise me.
I'll
They're
have
running
to-
out of money at this point. They know the movie's going to be bad.
I'm going to double check, but I'm almost positive it's the same exact scene. So he skates. They show him skate to the corner after he scores the goal, and like he turns and celebrates. His hand comes up really close to the corner, and then magically he is sliding on his knees at center ice. There's way too much of a difference. The players have cleared the bench and are now around him in the long shot scene, like the filler scene. This is where you get Mike Myers and Kanye West, because it's the
Kanye, because Kanye's cool.
Well, it's the George Bush hates black people.
Yeah.
Setup.
It's right after that would have happened. So that was like what, 2006? So probably filmed in 2007.
It's just 2007. So yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It's Kanye.
It's Kanye and Mike Myers.
So
hanging out.
Justin Timberlake is the cool guy because even though he lost, he's still that he got bested by the most unrealistic thing in hockey ever happens. The Leafs managed to pull off the reverse sweep and win the Stanley Cup. The first scene of the cup we see, it's missing two bands. They're on there, but they're blank.
Yeah,
means this is probably a replica.
It is a replica, but it's not a very good replica. Now the
Bad.
NHL has 3 cups. In case you don't know this, there are 3 Stanley Cups, not just one.
There's the original Punch Bowl.
No, the full statue Stanley Cup.
Ah.
There is the presentation cup, which is the one that the players get. That's presented at the end of the season. There is the replica cup, which is used for when the Stanley Cup is on display, and then there's like a display cup
in Toronto.
Well, it's I fucked it up because I know there's 3. There's the presentation.
I thought the original Punch Bowl.
You cut out if you were.
Oh, I thought the original Punch Bowl still existed too.
It does, if I remember correctly, but there are technically 3 Stanley Cups.
Okay.
So
is the original Punch Bowl still part of one of the Stanley Cups?
They incorporated it into one of them. Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
Basically, it got too brittle. There's the Dominion Cup, which is the little tiny one, which is just the bowl, which was the Challenge Cup. The original cup, but it became too brittle, so that's now the Presentation Cup, which is the one that's awarded, and the replica one of the presentation one, which stays at the thing. So there's the very original Stanley Cup, and then the remake cups. Anyway, we get the whole scene with them chilling out with the cup, and then guess who shows up?
Go ahead and tell us, Jim.
Well, I was trying Who shows up?
Deepak Chopra.
Yes.
We talked about him for the entire movie, and now that we don't care about him anymore because Mike Myers' character doesn't want to be Deepak Chopra. Deepak Chopra has to show up and be like, "Ha, I'm still Deepak Chopra." Yeah, no, he's like, you could have been the next Deepak Chopra, talking about himself in the third person, and
I'm going to be the first Guru Pitka.
Yep, exactly. And then they make up and they're friends again because they were friends before, right? That's why he's there.
Potentially.
I mean,
The movie
it's a big-
ends with the movie ends with Ben Kingsley saying, you finally figured out, Pitka.
The
I
meaning-
think
the
he
meaning
calls
of
him
love.
Maurice. You finally figured out the meaning of love. It's not that you need to love others; it's that you need to love yourself. And then he tells him he can unlock the chastity belt. He's like, oh, I don't have the key. He goes, there's no key. It's just a latch in the back. And you're telling me for 30 years he never accidentally twisted that thing by accident and popped that fucking thing off?
Nope. And then they make a joke about, he's like, "What do you want?" Jessica Alba looks at him. "What do you want to do?" And he's like, "I haven't touched myself in however many years or whatever." And he's like, "I want to sing a song." And then they bust out into song again.
They sing the Bollywood version of the Joker.
Steve
by
Miller.
Steve Miller Band, correct.
Yep.
And it's at this point in the movie, we are 5 minutes to go. They do the thing, and when you get to the part of the line when you go, and some call me Maurice, and I go, that's the whole reason why they called his character Maurice. It has to be.
Yeah.
Some people call me the space cowboy. Yeah. Some call me the gangster of love. Some people call me Maurice. Because I speak of the competence of love.
Because the song was
Oh
the
my
basis for the
God.
movie. The song was the basis for the movie. Yeah.
It has to be.
That's too on the nose.
It is too one of those,
the
but that's
truth.
the whole movie.
That's the whole movie. Everything is on the nose. Everything. Every single thing. What do you want, man? What do you want?
I
want
to not have
tell
to,
you.
yeah, to,
To
yeah,
not have
to go back
watched
into to go back in time and get.
Well,
God.
he cut out again, so we'll just leave him alone. Anyway, that's the Love Guru. So it does it has won some accolades. In February 21st, 2009, it was up for Golden Raspberry Awards for Worst Picture, Worst Actor, Worst Actress, Supporting Actor, Screenplay, and Director. It won for Worst Picture. Mike Myers won for Worst Actor. Jessica Alba was nominated for Worst Actress, but didn't win. Worst Supporting Actor was Ben Kingsley and Vern Troyer, both nominated, didn't win. Worst Screenplay, it won, and Worst Director, they also were nominated, but managed to slide away. March 6th, 2010, Worst Actor of the Decade award for the Razzie, along with The Cat in the Hat. Mike Myers is nominated, but did not win.
Who
Ta-da! I don't know. Worst Detective, Worst Actor Decorate, Eddie Murphy for The Adventures of Pluto Nash, I Spy, Imagine
That was a
Meet
bad
Dave,
movie too.
Norbert,
Thank
and
God.
Showtime.
Okay. Yep.
Thank
yep,
God
yep,
there's
yep.
no hockey movies with Eddie Murphy in them.
Yeah.
So shit.
Are we sure
Aren't-
about this?
Oh no. Oh no.
I'm gonna just quit now. I'm gonna quit and I'm never doing another review if there is. Like
There
holy
might
shit.
be.
With Eddie Murphy?
Maybe.
Well, I typed in Eddie Murphy hockey movie, and Dolomite Is My Name came up.
Yeah.
Hockey? There's hockey and Dolomite is my name.
Eddie Murphy's wasteful film Dolomite Falls Flat. I will skim it to see if there's one hockey
Please.
scene.
Please don't.
There's
one hockey scene? Oh
no,
my God.
I will skim it to see if there is. I'm pretty sure I have the next movie we're going to watch, but I don't want to spoil it. So obviously this is a terrible hockey movie. It's not just a terrible hockey movie. It's a terrible movie in general. The whole movie is one. It's basically a setup like, how can we make this a dick joke? Here's the dick joke. How do we set up the next dick joke? Forget about the last dick joke. Let's just say this dick joke.
More dicks. More dicks. Add more
naughty.
dicks.
It's
How do you
funny
add more
'cause
dicks?
It's naughty. That's the easiest way to describe the movie. It's funny because it's naughty.
It thinks it's funny because it's naughty.
My God.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't work out. Most of the hockey in the movie isn't terrible, with the exceptions of when they have to do close-up stuff of Roanoke. Then you go, oh, he's not really sure how to play hockey. That's okay. I can forgive some of that stuff. Because if you go back and watch, like, the Mighty Ducks, you get to see the same kind of thing. Unfortunately, where the movie falls flat is literally everywhere.
Yeah.
There's not like one redeeming quality. Like with our last movie review, MVP, there's a few times where you're like, hey, this isn't too bad, or this is a good kids movie about hockey, or this is a good. Love Guru is a shit movie from start to finish.
There's nothing redeeming about it except for Justin Timberlake. And that's not really that redeeming.
Right.
It's
bad.
It's just bad. So
bad. That's the review. It's bad. Thanks
It's
for
bad.
everything.
It's bad. Don't watch it. If you've watched it, we're sorry.
Yeah, listen. If you've watched the
I'm
video
sorry.
companion for this, because it's a 2-hour podcast at this point.
I'm sorry.
We're sorry.
We are.
Anyway, Matt Angle, what do you got as final thoughts for the movie? What would you give Love Guru on a 5-star rating? We should probably go like 5 puck, right?
5 pucks.
Just
I
go real
give it.
You can do half pucks.
Yeah, half a puck. Yeah,
Half
like
a puck.
yeah, half a puck. This movie might be the worst movie that I've ever seen in my life, and I tend to watch pretty high quality movies, so that may just be like some sort of confirmation bias. But it was really bad. The characters are bad. The jokes are bad. There are no redeeming qualities. There's no character arc. There's nothing about this movie that I liked. I would watch Click before I watched this movie. And that's it.
It's, like I said in the beginning, it's literally the movie that derailed his career.
It's one of the worst movies that I've ever seen in my life. And I can't even begin to understand how angry for this.
Well, just remember, people paid to see this in the theaters, so that's at least you weren't one of those people.
A couple people did.
Matt's.
I'm trying to think. Yeah. Anyway, it's bad.
What do you got, Matt Soffel?
5 out of 5 cocks. This was the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life, and I think everyone should see it and just go into it realizing that this is a dick joke movie, and if you want dick jokes, you'll get dick jokes.
Even if you don't want dick jokes, you're getting dick jokes anyway.
Even if you don't want dick jokes, you're getting dick jokes. Just know it. Okay.
5
out of 5 Lacocks.
I gotta go with 1 puck. It's
oh, one out of 5 pucks, but no, 5 out of 5 Lacocks. That's 100%.
Lacocks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll have to make sure I add a little.
Scale is a little different. Scale's a little different, but yeah, one out of 5 pucks.
I'll have to make sure I go through and. But yeah, it's not, it's not a great movie. There's too many times where they go out of their way to try and force the joke. It just doesn't work. As far as the hockey goes, it's the same thing. They seem to go out of their way to make it the cool hockey thing. It just never gets all the way there.
I don't even know if I get what the aiming for. Like, I can't imagine. I don't know. It seems it was a bad movie start to finish. It doesn't seem like it would have even been a good movie like the State. Like when you're trying to obtain funding, I don't know how it got funding. I don't know how it got greenlit. I don't know. I don't
exactly
understand.
how it got greenlit. It
was Mike Myers.
It's a comedy movie with Mike Myers.
Mike Myers. That's it.
That's how it gets made. They go, we want to make money. How do we make money? Mike Myers is funny. Let's have him do a comedy movie. And everybody's like, yeah, let's go. And womp womp. But yeah, that's about it for this. There will be a video companion, hopefully getting done within a week and a half. We are slowly coming out of the containment from all the quarantine stuff. So my job is basically open to the public. I'm working 10-hour days. It's a shit show. It's basically a dumpster fire. But things are working out, so I don't know how much time I'm going to get to do it. Also, I have new computer parts coming, so if that arrives prior to the stuff, I'll probably do that first and then render it all in there. I really don't know. But hopefully it'll be out after this. The audio podcast is going to go up tonight, and it'll be available Tuesday. I think
Cool.
Matt Angle was trying to wrangle in some of his computer parts, or his Windows machine is like sneaking up on him, going.
So you
like,
had to turn
Daddy,
around
you used to
and
love
kick
me,
it.
Daddy. Daddy.
Push it back. Push. Get back in the closet.
Yeah, him and Linus Tech Tips are there with shovels, just ready to beat it.
Oh man.
But that's it. I have another movie that is pretty much good to go. That should be a better movie. Don't get your hopes up. But it should be a better movie than this. The issue is I don't know if we're actually going to get a chance to run it, because hockey's kind of coming back.
Yeah, I'd be kind of excited to start like reporting back out on some Flyers news if they start training camps and have, not that there's going to be a lot of media availability or any at all, but that there's just potentially some news of some sort.
The soft restart date for like training camps was late June, early July.
Yeah.
So if that all works out, then maybe we won't have another movie. But we might do another one just to lead into the playoffs, because there's not going to be.
We'll
they're going to
see.
be like, hockey's
We'll
back.
see.
Now what? We don't know. So
We'll see.
we'll figure it out. We'll try and get everything up. You can follow us on Twitter at Off the Dashers. You can get us on all your favorite podcast app, Apple, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, SoundCloud. We got our stuff reworked for Spotify, so you can go to Spotify. You can even use your Alexa device. You can just say,
You can listen to us, and then you can listen to Joe Rogan, because that's where he is now.
He just listen. We're not exclusive to Spotify, because one, we don't get Joe Rogan money.
Yeah, but like maybe if we shout him out, he'll give us some of that sweet money. I doubt
I
it, but
think so.
if we can advertise for another podcast on a podcast to try to get funding from that podcast?
If somebody's willing to, if somebody wants to pay us like I would pick a rival podcast. Like if there was a Penguins equivalent to us.
Yeah, you would.
I would. And they were like, "We're gonna pay you $100 to advertise our show." But like, let's fucking go.
Like, let's go. I don't give a shit.
Listen,
amazing.
I'm a sellout in a minute.
This is now a Rick and Morty podcast because Cartoon Network's paying us to talk about Pringles.
Listen, I'm gonna take that AMAC contract and bounce, son.
Boom.
Yeah. But
5 years, 30 million. 6 years, 30 million.
6 years, 30 million.
One of the best videos on the internet of all time. The guy goes out into a field and there's a bunch of geese and he yells, 6 years, 30 million. He scares away all the geese with Andrew McDonald's contract.
It's true. They were actually scared of Andrew McDonald's.
They weren't scared
contract.
of his voice. They were scared of the contract.
Even how long ago was that contract? That was
6 years.
6 years.
5 years.
So
six, because he played this year in SC Burn. So this would be 6 years.
So even in context of everything that happened, it was still a terrible contract, and I hated it. And
every minute of it.
Every single minute of it. I know there was nothing redeeming about that contract. I hated it, and Andrew McDonald was terrible. Andrew McDonald was terrible.
Almost.
It was so hey, he could be captain, but he couldn't play hockey. Jody Shelley could have been captain, but
he's a meatball sandwich.
Hockey. Yeah.
Meatballs.
Yeah. Anyway.
Let's get done with this.
Let's get the fuck out of here. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Remember, kids, stay on sides.